Hello, my 7,000 paragliding homies. What's up? This is Ari in the Air. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to teach you some high wind launching tips, and these are really helpful and totally critical if you want to have a solid high wind launch. Okay, hope this helps. Ready? Here we go.
See ya.
I'm paragliding!
See ya. Okay, if you're watching this video, consider subscribing. If you like this channel, become a patron on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. And also, if you are looking for some paraglide coaching or mentorship, I do that online. Would love to help you with your paragliding career. So, I have this video of me launching my acrobatics glider in some pretty strong wind on the southeast side of Pine Mountain. And I'm going to kind of dissect it for you. We're going to walk through what the important pieces of this are. This video is not going to include how to lay your glider out in strong wind, or whether or not you should be flying in strong wind, or how strong is too strong. All of those things are not in this video. And if you have questions watching this video, put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those. But in general, those things I mentioned are important considerations, whether or not you should be flying at all in wind that's going to pluck you. You're going to get drugged through the sage. You're going to get blown over the back. You're going to fly into the rotor and have a horrible day. Let's avoid that. So at any rate, the first most important thing in a high wind launch is that you move your fucking feet. Okay? So let's watch this video through one time here. And you'll see I'm pulling up the glider. I am running towards the glider. I'm running towards the glider. A little brake check. Blap, tap, hat. Nailed it. Okay. Let's go back. So I run towards the glider. It's also important to note that I run towards the middle of the glider. Running towards the glider is taking power away from the glider. Running towards the middle of the glider helps center it over my head, right, in a roll configuration. Running towards the glider controls the pitch of the glider. Obviously, if you pull up the glider and anchor your feet in strong wind, it's going to pull up really super hard. It's going to try to drag you. It's going to pluck you. And in strong wind in general, we know it's going to pluck us. So what we're trying to control is when and under what circumstance it plucks us, right? Because once the glider is fully tensioned, once all of my weight is on the glider, I know that it's going to pick me up because it's on. Right? So what I'm doing running towards the glider is I'm trying to control when it picks me up. And when I want it to pick me up is when I'm directly under it, it's perfectly overhead and it's centered. It's not like rolled off to one side. It has the correct heading and I'm turned around. Okay? So running towards the glider allows me to get the glider perfectly overhead before it picks me up. And as I run, you can see I make adjustments with the brakes. I'm also running towards the middle of the glider, and then I bend my knees and get my weight really low, and then I do a quick turn as it's picking me up. I guess that's moving your feet. That's why it's so important. I hope you get that. And I'm not sure how else I can explain that to you. The best way for you to practice this is to learn to kite uphill. Not just kite standing there, but literally learning to kite uphill. And in stronger and stronger conditions, you will learn to move your feet towards the glider to control its power. Or you'll pull back on the glider to give it power, right? And you'll also move left and right to center the glider overhead. All these things you'll learn if you're kiting uphill, and it's a super good exercise. So as you run towards the glider, it keeps it from being too powerful. And then checking the glider, getting under the middle of it. Right here, I let go of the A's. And you can see that as I run towards the glider, I'm on the A's. Because as I run towards the glider, I'm taking all the power away from it. And so if I don't stay on the A's, the glider will just fall back. So I'm staying on the A's. Okay, the moment I let go of the A's, you can see I really bend my knees. I get my weight super low. And I drag my foot. That's so that I can have some leverage on the ground as it plucks me and picks me up, and I'm initiating that turn. My ideal situation is where I run under the glider, turn really fast, and then it plucks me. This instance is kind of like I get like at least half a turn and I start using the brakes and it's picking me up and I finish my turn. The reason that you want to finish your turn is so you don't have this extra rotational energy. Basically, as it tensions the risers and it wants to untwist the risers, if you aren't turned and it untwists the risers with a bunch of force, especially if you're in a pod harness, it'll put a bunch of rotational inertia into you, and then you can riser twist the opposite direction, or you can just swing around. It puts a weird effect into it. Your best bet is to be turned around, facing the way you're about to fly, leaned forward in a good torpedo position before it plucks you. So you can see I bend my knees, I get low, I drag my feet, I get ready, and I try to initiate that turn as quickly as I can. Okay? And as I turn, I really want my head between the risers. I want myself forward. I don't want to be laid back because then I'll have this big rotational inertia. Like if I'm laid back in a pod, you're more susceptible to line twist. Same effect here. I really want to be between the risers, keep my rotational energy really low, keep everything between the risers here, right? So once I have a deliberate turn, the glider's over my head and it's going to pluck me, I'm in a safe position to be plucked, right? A bad position to be plucked is when your glider's at 45 and it's going to pick you up and drag you and you're going to hit the hill. A bad place to be plucked is when you're not turned and it's going to just pluck you and you're going to untwist and all that stuff. You don't want that. You really want to use your feet to control the pitch of the glider and to arrive under the middle of the glider. You want to bend your knees and make a really deliberate turn so that you can be in control of the position in which your body is when you get plucked. Because if you're flying a strong wind, you can bet you're going to get plucked. Okay? I hope this is helpful. Please consider subscribing to the channel. If you want my help with your paragliding, I work one-on-one with paraglide pilots just like you of all levels. Whether you're starting your first competition or you're just a new P2 student, I do paraglide coaching over Zoom. We look at your videos, we analyze your crashes, we do all that stuff. I listen to you what your goals are, what kind of flying you want to do, and in general, it's super fun. So if you'd like to work with me, check me out, ariintheair.com, or you can email me, ariintheair@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. More good stuff on the way. See you on the next episode.